listening to Cold to the Touch, the #1 show for dead people, and this is our punk rock special.
Punk.
Exactly.
I haven't been to add to, apart from the fact that Kai record. Excited for it, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited. Punk rock. It's a way of life.
Yeah. It's not just for Christmas.
Plenty of technical difficulties, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, technical difficulties. Chatting about recommend the norm for the week, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can start recording live.
Yeah, fingers crossed. That'll be cool.
Better.
Yeah.
Kallum, you've got some exciting news to announce. Life update.
Yeah.
For
Do
all
that
our
at the end.
fans. Oh, okay. Surprise for the end. Make sure you listen all the way.
Hopefully his microphone actually stays by then and doesn't keep cutting out.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Sometimes I feel like I should get like a quiet bystander in the background. Journal.
I don't know how you did it the first week, but for some reason it didn't cut out once. Like the first ever show we did, it recorded perfectly. Like everything went so well. And then every week after that, it's just technical difficulties.
I'm working perfectly. And then by like prior.
Cutting out.
Did it cut out then?
Yeah.
Yeah. It only cuts out when you're actually saying something important.
Yeah, literally.
When you're asking, oh, did it just cut out? It's perfectly fine any other time.
Say wig wig wham wham.
That sounds racist.
No, just say it. I guarantee you it won't cut out.
I can't even remember what you.
Wig wig wham wham.
Wig bongo.
It did cut out.
Discord's trying to bring us down.
Discord is trying to slow this train down. But
you intro.
I think the best line in that Ian Curtis biopic is when they're watching the Buzzcocks like backstage, and is it Peter Hook goes, "What sort of a name is the Buzzcocks? That's proper gay." And they're like, "Well, they're not called the Cocks, are they? They're called the Buzzcocks." He's like, "It's still gay."
Chris, do you want to get away?
Yeah, so every single week we do lists. And when I was thinking of punk, I thought a lot of the bands have very interesting names. So I thought that I'd scour the world and find 10 of the greatest punk rock band names that I could find.
Interesting.
These are all real bands, by the way.
I never know what to believe of you, because I'm pretty sure you said that about the War sequels, and then we had The Fault in Our Star Wars.
No, I said they're films that should exist, whereas these are all real bands.
Okay.
I'm not joking at all. They are all 10 real bands that exist.
Okay.
Number 10 is Aborted Hitler Cock.
Oh no, that's where we started.
Yeah. To be fair, that's actually one of the worst. Actually, I'm not sure about that. But
Aborted Hitler Cock is one of the most tame.
And both O's have the 2 dots above them.
Okay. Oh, God.
So I assume you pronounce it differently.
Yeah, that's a German pronunciation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's also not the only Hitler-based band on this list.
What is it with punk rock and Hitler? They're
Easy
weirdly
target,
intertwined. Yeah, true. Yeah, but then you've got bands like Anal Cunt that wrote Hitler is a sensitive man. So clearly they're on the side of Hitler.
Yeah, but they just were intentionally trying to be offensive.
Yeah.
Right, so number 9 is Bathtub Shitter.
Bathtub Shitter.
Still not as bad as the previous.
No.
I feel like you've set the bar so...
Yeah. This is The Fault in Our Star Wars all over again. You've set the bar with Aborted Hitler Cock, and everything else is going to seem so tame.
I think you'll think differently when I say number 8.
I once shit in the bath when I was a kid.
Why are you announcing the podcast?
I don't know. No one listens to it, do they? So
it was a punk shit.
Yeah. I was a child, couldn't get out of the bath and make it to the toilet, so I shit in the bath. My dad had to fish it out.
I'm sure everyone's done that once upon a time.
Yeah. Maybe. Anyways, number 8.
Number 8 is the child molesters.
What?
Chris, for fuck's sake.
Are these real? But I'm going to fact.
They are
Yeah,
real
Google
bands.
it, because I feel like he's making this up.
Yeah, we're being laid on us.
The child molesters?
Surely not. This is going to be in my Spotify set.
I don't know if they're on Spotify, but they're definitely on Google.
Oh no, they are.
Are they
Yeah,
actually?
exactly. They're all real bands. I'm not making
Violent
this up.
crime, sluts, make me second biggest.
Can you imagine listening to them on Spotify and seeing that come up on like the sidebar bit that shows what everyone's listening to? Oh, Chris is having a normal evening
no,
listening
I've
to the
just
band The
downloaded-
Child Molesters.
Their album.
He's just downloaded their album.
Yeah, the legendary.
There you go. That's your suggestion for next week. Around the theme of molestation.
Oh, Chris. Move on, number 7.
Number 7. Yeah, the rest of it is very tame compared to that. Number 7 is the Clits.
The Clits isn't too bad.
No.
Just empowering women. I remember when me and Chris went to see a women punk empowerment band called Mannequin Pussy.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Yeah, they were quite good. I enjoyed them. Although she wasn't very happy with the crowd by the sounds of it.
I saw him on a list of it was like a music publication did a list recently of like the top 30 best bands in the world right now that you should be listening to. They're on there at some point. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
As were the 1975, so you can't really take it too
Alright,
seriously.
so it wasn't a credit.
Yeah.
No. I liked the fact that even in that when they were talking about the 1975, they literally just started slagging them off and said their new album's shit.
Aren't you a big 1975?
No.
Lies.
I like one of their songs.
You sing Lipstick Shadow, I'm Matty all the time to me.
I thought you were actually making up a song name then. I thought it was like an actual real song.
Oh no, yeah, I've just made that up, yeah. I don't know what they're called. What's their big hit? It's...
What?
I
I don't know.
You just summed up.
Come on, that was spot on.
There could have been literally any of their songs to be fair.
Alright. 6.
Number 6 is Cock and Ball Torture.
Is this real?
Yeah. I think you should Google it.
That's a great band, that.
There's a lot of podcasts.
I just imagine, can you imagine if these bands somehow made it huge and Glastonbury had no choice but to put them on as headliners?
Well, Chris
And
saw
the
a band
intro.
Crywank.
Yeah, true, you've seen a band called Crywank multiple times.
No, I just saw them the once.
Oh, so
They're not
just the
together
once.
anymore.
Oh, I thought they
Yeah.
renamed themselves.
No, they broke up not that long ago. They were doing like a farewell tour and then Corona happened. I don't think they're rescheduling it or anything.
Ah, fair. Yeah, Cock and Ball Torture, what a name.
Yeah. I should have put some of these bands on the playlist.
Yeah, you should have. I'd like to hear what aborted Hitler cock sound like.
Woo!
Callum's excited about punk rock.
That's my mic cuts out again.
Yeah, it immediately cut out as soon as you said cut out.
Yeah. It's just playing with him at this point.
Literally. Taunting.
Done. And what's number 5 on the list?
Yeah, so carrying on our list. Number 5 is a band called Cunts.
Straight to the point. I like it.
Yeah. It's straightforward, catchy, memorable.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Cunts.
Exactly.
To be fair, if cunt wasn't like such a frowned upon word, that would actually be quite a sick band name.
It's definitely less frowned upon now than it was like 5 years. Give it another 5 years.
Yeah, true.
There's some people who still get like super like upset and offended if you say that word though.
Yeah, my mum.
I think I'm just desensitized. You hear it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, English people seem to use it as punctuation. It's like every other word is cunt,
Yeah.
essentially.
Australians even worse.
Mm.
Like, you ever watch the Cold Ones podcast? It's like they say it in every single sentence.
True. They shout it as well. They don't even say it.
Yeah.
4, is it?
Yeah, so number 4 is the last Hitler band on this list, Hitler SS.
They're not even trying.
Yeah.
I reckon they just hope they get traffic by Google.
Probably,
Yeah,
actually.
maybe.
That's not as creative
Or like
as
you see
Hitler's
him-
aborted cock.
No. You see their name on like a gig post and you're like, oh, I've got to go see what these guys are about.
Yeah.
I remember we
And
got a
that-
poster after a gig once, and one of the bands on there was called the Cum Monkeys. That was quite a funny band name.
There you go, a bonus entry for our list.
3, is it?
Number 3 is Scrotum Grinder.
That's grim.
Yeah.
Just coming up with the most like weird, insane shit they can think of, basically. Seems to be the gist for a lot of these band names.
Yeah. That's just how you stand out on the crowd.
Yeah, but if everyone's doing that, you don't stand out anymore.
I know. I think that's why a lot of people don't like punk anymore.
Yeah, true.
Like, I watched that documentary American Hardcore the other day, and like all the big like punk rock guys like Henry Rollins and Ian Mackay were basically saying that they hated punk rock because everyone was doing it.
Yeah. To be fair, it happened in the 70s when it first popped up as well. It only lasted for like a year properly. It just got oversaturated and died.
Anyway, number 2 is probably my favourite on the list, Midget Handjob.
It's quite a good one. I think Cock and Ball Torch is still my favourite, but that's a close second.
Cock and Balls Torture's first album.
He just can't
What was
input
that about
any
their
list,
first
can he?
album?
The boys.
Cut out again.
I'll just woo every so often.
That's your input, just to make noises every once in a while.
Woo!
Why does it never cut out when he woos?
I don't know. Anyway, number 1, the final on our list, is Hot Buttered Anal.
Woo!
Callum's a fan of Hot Buttered Anal.
What does that even mean? Hot butted
I
anal.
don't know.
That's fucked.
It just sounds kind of gross.
What should we call our punk band that we're definitely going to make?
Spank.
What? Just spank.
Spanking.
Spank
I
bang.
like it. It's catchy.
Spank bang.
Spank bang.
To be fair, it's not a bad name.
It's a sick name. I've just looked up Hot Buttered Anal, and number 1 song's Choke the Bitch.
Oh dear. To be fair, Gigi Allen is really like a forefather for this extreme punk.
Oh, yeah, without
Yeah.
a fucking doubt.
Oh, gotta love it.
I'm not sure if these bands like vomit on the crowd and like throw shit at people though.
Cowards. Pussies.
That's what we're gonna do.
Exactly. We don't play music, we
We'll
just
just do
shit
that.
in our hands.
Yeah. We'll do that if we do our podcast live. Just in between links while the music's playing.
When we get
Just
5 regular
throw shit at
viewers,
the
we'll
crowd.
hire out a town hall and just throw shit at them.
Yeah. There we go, and that was Lexicon Devil by The Germs. And you're listening to Cold to the Touch, the number 1 show for dead people.
The best song on GTA 5 soundtrack.
Woo!
Yeah, that's where I heard it, to be fair. That punk radio station on there is really good.
It
to
is
be
really
fair.
good. Yeah. It's a shame that it's not got more songs on there. I feel like you hear the same 10
Yeah.
songs quite a lot.
Yeah, it's like the only thing I used to listen to, so I basically just heard everything on loop.
Yeah, I used to like listen to what I thought the character would listen to. So I only listened to that when I was playing as Trevor.
Yeah.
Gay. ever heard.
Shut up. It's fun to
Proper.
roleplay stuff.
Tragic immersion, that is.
Mate,
frightening.
you play Dungeons and Dragons, you ginger pedo.
Alright. Chris, do you want to what we got going on?
Yeah, so every single week, since like the second or third week, we've been getting sponsors come in. It's been pretty good money for us, keeping the show going.
Exactly.
And this week was no exception. So yeah, this is this week's sponsor.
Do you like sitting at home with a nice glass of sherry and some relaxing classical music? Well, fuck you, because we are talking about pure, uncut punk rock. Anti-Everything Records presents our first sampler 7-inch Political Revolution Now, featuring music from some of the world's best punk bands around now, including melodic hardcore group Anaphylactic Rock,
Things we are bound to fight. Cover up free speech and cover up the truth. Cover up the things scary.
post-punk legends Greg and the Gargoyles,
Cries of deadly silent, I declaring violent.
grindcore band 69 Sex Cult, California pop-punk group Slappy Hour,
Have a way too real and expect us to kneel.
and even Ireland's finest emo band Norwegian Basketball DC. This sampler is free to all who wants to experience the greatest music around at the moment. Just mail a shipping addressed in packing envelope to 69 Zoo Lane at London LO7XOR for exclusive access to Political Revolution Now.
There we go. So thank you to Anti-Everything Records for sponsoring us.
So yeah, some of those bands sounded sick. Almost eerily similar to the music Chris Holland makes, but sick.
I know.
I'm impressed. They're really upping production value for every sponsor.
Yeah, literally. It's
Really?
better than the Westboro Baptist Church anyways.
Yeah. Eventually we'll have to do apology, and it'll probably be that.
Yeah, because I know not everyone wants to send something in to get it, I took the liberty to upload it to Bandcamp, which we'll tweet later. I'm not sure the record label will be very happy about that. But as long as we don't tell them, I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yeah, you've just essentially stolen all of their revenue.
It's okay. It's free on there.
Oh yeah, true actually. I guess it is quite punk rock to steal someone else's shit and just upload it for free.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
What were they called?
Anyway.
Against Everything Records.
Anti-Everything Records.
Anti-Everything
and the
Records.
album is Political Revolution Now.
Hell yeah.
So a few weeks ago we had Kallum recommended the film Life is Beautiful, but Kai didn't watch it, but he's finally watched it. So
But his
he's going to
opinion
tell us
relevant.
his thoughts.
My opinion's irrelevant, apparently. I thought it was okay. I thought it was, I don't know, too light-hearted for the subject matter. Like, I really like the first half of it, but then when they get put in that joke concentration camp where it's watered down and they've all got loads of living space compared to what people actually had in concentration camps, and you never actually see them go through anything other than lifting like hot iron or whatever it was they were making. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is a bit insensitive. And then the wife makes quite a big decision when she decides to get on the train to go to the concentration camp, even though she's not a Jew, just because she loves her husband and her son. And then you get like 20 seconds with her at the concentration camp. And I would have preferred to actually have stuck with her a bit more and see what she was going through. But yeah, I
that's
loved the
fair.
first half. I thought it was great, like slapstick comedy. It reminded me of like a Buster Keaton film or something. But then, yeah, as soon as they got to the concentration camp, I don't know. I don't want to be one of them guys that's like, because I wasn't offended. I just thought it was a bit insensitive and unrealistic.
Yeah, that's fair. I understood why people would think that.
Yeah.
I just didn't get that out of the film. I think it's one of those things that everyone gets something different out of the film.
Yeah. I I really liked Roberto Benigni as well. Thought he was class.
Yeah, he's really great in it. Apparently, he's not really been good in anything else.
Yeah, he's good. I watched Night on Earth recently. He's got a good segment in that.
Yeah, apparently he's good in like Jim Jarmusch films,
Yeah.
but like his own movies, he's not good.
Yeah, the kid, his son, was shit. That's one of the worst child performances I've ever seen in my life. I hated that little fucker. I was like, send him to the showers now, please. And that American soldier at the end, when he rolls up in the tank, he's the worst actor I've ever seen. Easily. He's in it for like a minute, and it literally downgraded the film so much for me because he was such a terrible actor. And then, yeah, you've got the freeze frame ending, which pissed me off as well, because that's such a dated trope. That's like such a 90s thing to do. It's the happy freeze frame ending. So, yeah, I like the first half. Second half didn't work for me.
But I'm sure even you could agree that it was better than most of the films that we brought up that were nominated for Best Picture that year.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Shakespeare
true.
in Love, which won.
Yeah, I mean, Shakespeare in Love should not have won. What other films are on that list? Do you remember?
The Thin Red Line, Saving Private Ryan, and I think it's Victoria.
So yeah, I think The Thin Red Line's a much better film than this.
Was it? It was
I've never
97.
watched it.
Yeah. Year I was born.
Same.
What a shit year to be born for Oscars. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I read that there was quite a lot of backlash as well when it came out, with like what I've been saying, like it's a bit insensitive and stuff.
Even now, a lot of people say that. Like, you go on the letterbox reviews, and it's either people saying that this is really great, or it's people saying this is super insensitive and offensive and shit like that.
See, I wasn't offended by it because it's like, you know, artistic integrity. But I read an interview that pissed me off a bit with Roberto Benigni, where he said he didn't want to portray the Holocaust properly. It was just a backdrop. And I was like, well, there's other backdrops you can use. Don't fuck with like one of the biggest tragedies that's ever happened.
Yeah.
There's other places you could have set that if you wanted to.
I think his intention was that using something that horrific and horrible as the backdrop makes it a little bit more powerful.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's kind of manipulative, but it definitely works.
Yeah. That, to be fair, that scene when he's like reading out the rules of the game that he's made up for his son is quite funny. I laughed at that. But yeah, everything else I was just a bit like, it's a bit dodgy, this. It seems like it was sort of like a decision that was made without really thinking about the ramifications of it.
Yeah.
But it won the Palme d'Or though that year, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
I find the Palme d'Or more reliable than the Best Picture Oscar.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's less political than the Oscars.
Yeah.
What's next? Album discussion.
Yeah. Take it away, Kai.
Bad Brains. I've never listened to this album. Been meaning to for years. I'll let you two start. Yeah, because I've got some thoughts, but they're not necessarily positive ones. So shoot.
Well, do you want to tell them the name first before?
It's literally just called Bad Brains.
But that band name,
self-titled
the album.
Yeah, it's a self-titled album. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like an album that's been on my list to listen to for a long time, because obviously it's like considered one of the definitive hardcore albums, and I think I've heard better stuff by them because I've heard like a fair amount of like some of their later stuff, but yeah, I still liked it quite a bit. I thought it was an interesting blend of hardcore and reggae and stuff like that.
Kallum, any thoughts?
I was going to say it's good to see hardcore bands that don't just do the same thing as everyone else and try and experiment with the genre and do something different.
Yeah. I enjoyed that aspect of it. I think it's just one of them things where I've been meaning to listen to it for so many years. Like, I've built it up in my head, and then I got around to it, and it was like, Oh, I've heard better like hardcore albums.
Yeah, I felt that way about Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys.
Yeah, it's one of those like classic albums that everyone bigs up as like the best thing in that sort of genre.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. The reggae was like a really cool mix up because it starts off, it's like so fast paced and frenetic, and then you get like a reggae song that completely slows it down, and you've got a few more hardcore songs, and then another reggae track. And yeah, I thought it was a nice mix up, change of pace, lets you like catch a breather. Because they play that shit so fast, I think it would have been overwhelming otherwise without that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, what did you think, Callum?
Yeah. To be honest, I had to think about it for a bit. First, I listened to it twice. Once when I was driving in the kitchen. And the first time, well, this is... And then I sort of thought about it a bit, and like, not on shuffle, and I saw contrast with the songs.
Yeah.
But I liked it. Punk's always one of them things that you've got the impression I don't like it, even though I've never said that. But I just, like, every time I listen to it, I enjoy it, but I never sort of go back to it, if that makes sense. Like, it's not a go-to for me, but I've got nothing against it. Enjoy it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Dunno.
yeah, like I really didn't think you were going to like it, to be fair, because it's like it's one of the more hardcore punk albums I've ever listened to personally. Like they play that stuff so fast, it's like it's almost unbearable at some points.
I don't mind it. I used to like things like Black Flag are hard, probably it's hard, don't know. Like things like
Black Flag are hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to like Black Flag with college stuff. Like it was, but it just sort of died out, and I stopped listening. Sort of like look it out, but I mean, there's the odd thing that like slip through the cracks, but I just never managed to go back to it. But I enjoyed that, and I'm sure I'll probably, if I'm like once we go, and then I'll end up listening to it again.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, I was listening to it quite a lot while I was working out, and it's like when you're like desperate in those last like 20 minutes of a workout, it's quite good to get your pump back up again.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think after like their second or third album, they basically just stopped making punk music and they started making like weird reggae infused metal music, and I think that actually like fits their style a lot better.
Yeah,
like, some of that stuff's really good from what I've heard.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I'll have to give because is it Eye Against Eye? I think is one of their other albums. It's like critically acclaimed.
Yeah, that's one that's definitely more metal sounding. I've heard a couple of songs of that, and I like them quite a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs I like off this first album that I've like repeatedly listened to. But yeah, as an album as a whole, I don't know how much I'll actually go back to it.
Yeah, I like the songs as well. They got Paid to Come.
Yeah, it's a good song.
But no, I did.
It's a good name as well.
But no, I enjoyed.
Yeah,
pleasant surprise.
I think it's
more so in the second, but
yeah, definitely. I think this is it the first mention of PMA in the punk scene?
Maybe
because a lot of bands adopted that as sort of like their personality afterwards. I know a band I used to listen to called H2O essentially built their brand around positive mental attitude. So,
well, their lead singer HR has a lot of mental health issues. Like he suffers from schizophrenia, and apparently, it like basically broke up the band multiple times because he was just basically insane. And
yeah, like unpredictable.
Used to just snap at points and be There was a period of time, like the early 2000s, I think, where he was homeless. He just lived on the streets.
Oh shit! Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well.
Do we want to give it a rate?
Probably say 3.5 cold to the touches, maybe 4 upon multiple listens. I feel like it's more an album that I respect it, like what it did to hardcore punk and like its impact on the punk scene more than what I actually like enjoy out of it. Not to say
that's exactly how I feel.
It, but,
yeah, stunning. I'll give it 3 cold to the touches. Probably more on the cusp of 3.5. But I'd definitely say I'd have to see if I did go back to it. I mean, I more than likely will, but I sort of know. But no, I enjoyed it for what it is. I guess appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll probably say 3 as well. Like Chris said, I respect it more than I enjoy it, just because of like how influential it was. But yeah, I enjoyed a lot of the tracks on it. It's just, I don't know, a lot of them didn't really work for me.
Right.
There you go. So we also do film recommendations every week, and this was also Kai's. So
Yeah, so I recommended Her Smell. Came out in like 2018 or 2019. And it's essentially about, I think she's probably inspired by Courtney Love, just from like general first impressions. But it's about like a punk girl band that were big in like the 90s, but when we first meet the character, the band is sort of slowly declining. They're not playing anywhere near as big venues as they were. They get offered like a support gig for someone that they used to bring as a support act. So they're kind of like in the shitter essentially, and they cancelled a lot of tours. Their fan base just isn't growing anymore. And the lead singer of the band, Becky something, is just self-destructive, drinking, on drugs, just sort of fucking her life up, basically. She's got like a spiritual guide that she takes with her everywhere, who's actually like a con man. And at one point tells her that she needs to eliminate her own kid, essentially. And yeah, it's just about her downfall and kind of recovery, I guess, in a way. But yeah, it's a film I really enjoyed when I first saw it. What did you guys think?
I don't. Well,
Kallum hasn't
I
watched, have you?
Yeah, interject first because I haven't had a chance. But I mean, I will watch. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's worth a
bit.
watch, but yeah, if you're not in a good mindset, it's probably not the best.
No,
film.
but yeah, chaotic. So, but I mean, I am in. Elizabeth Moss always sort of surprises me everything she's in. I'd imagine she'll probably do it in this because whenever I think of her in my head, I'm. But I'm pretty consistent. Really.
I mean, she's
yeah,
great in this. So
Yeah, I really loved this film. Thought she is incredible in the film. I thought visually it was really great. I loved how half of the film was incredibly claustrophobic and stressful. Like, it reminded me a lot of kind of like some of the things like Uncut Gems and Good Time, but I also got a lot of Gaspar Noé vibes.
yeah,
And like just how
definitely.
shaky the camera was, how everything was super visceral and aggressive, and like, yeah, I thought visually it was fantastic. And of course, Elizabeth Moss gave what is, in my opinion, one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, I get what you mean with that. Like the first, because it's sort of broken up into like 5 segments, the film.
Yes, like 5 different vignettes, all of
Yeah.
which are kind of different.
Those first couple, or first 3, I think, had like so Gaspar Noé influence. Like the lighting is all just red and like claustrophobic lights. The camera's all over the place. The score is just unpredictable. It's mental. It just,
Yeah.
it proper stresses you out. And yeah, Elizabeth Moss is just absolute chaos.
That first scene that was like entirely, or that first vignette that was like entirely backstage and everything was super red and stuff, reminded me of like the first half of Irreversible, where they're just like in that club and the camera's like swirling around the place. It reminded me a lot of that, especially because like the music as well is super like it. The way it's played is almost like you're listening to a band playing on stage while you're backstage, so it's like super like low volume, like super like bassy sort of thing, and it like,
it almost
really
like
gets
vibrates.
under your skin.
Yeah, like the range Elizabeth Moss shows as well, to go from those early segments where she's chaotic and completely mental and just off the wall, and then to go to like that segment where she is first in recovery and she plays the piano for her kid and sings that song for her bandmate who quit in an earlier segment. Like, they're two different characters. It's like she says, I've forgotten because obviously in the early segments or throughout the film, she's called Becky something, which is like her stage name. And then I think it's like, is it Rebecca Adamczyk? Is her actual name?
Yeah, something like that.
It's literally like there's almost a split personality between the two. Like she says, like Becky something's a front and Rebecca Adamczyk is actually her. And she just switches so well between them. Like it's crazy. But yeah, I just think it's such a like technically great film as well as a emotionally great film. Like it's a perfect depiction of someone who's just manic and all over the place and just self-destructive.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I remember there's that really great scene where she's in recovery and she covers Heaven by Bryan Adams on the piano with her daughter. Like a really beautiful scene. I was like, you know what, this would be like a great ending scene. And I checked the time, there was like another half hour, and I was like, okay, I'm not really sure about this, but I thought the direction they then went in with the band performance was really, really great. I thought that segment was like almost more stressful and like tense than anything else in the film.
Yeah, I will say I don't think that last segment where she plays the final show works as well when you've seen it a second time, because a lot of it is the tension of, is she going to fuck up again and take drugs and drink and but I'd say the last 10 minutes with the performance she does, and then when she runs backstage to hug her kid and her manager asks her, have you got time for one more? And she's like, no, I'm done. That works really, really well. But yeah, everything up to that point where essentially the drive of the scene is she going to fall back into her old ways, doesn't work as well. But yeah, that cover she does on the piano for her daughter, mate, that is one of the most, it's like one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I don't really like that song normally, but her performance of it was really great.
Yeah, because you can tell she genuinely regrets like just wasting a lot of the early years of her daughter's life.
I also like all the original songs that they wrote for the band and the other band that's in the film. I thought they were all really catchy and well written.
Yeah, I'm quite glad they didn't overuse that other band as well, because when I saw that, like, because it's Cara Delevingne, she's like quite a big name.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to like shoehorn this other band in, and they were going to be like their sort of like, you know, rival band, and it all kicks off. But they're in it for like half an hour at most. The film is a character study at heart, like.
I don't think I have
loved
anything
it.
else to say. I really loved it as well.
What would you give it as a rating?
I'm pretty confident giving it a full 5. I really loved this film.
Wow,
maybe,
okay.
like you said, maybe I'd think differently on a second viewing with the second half.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of what I loved about it was the suspense of not knowing what's going to happen next, and like that feeling in your stomach where you're like worrying it's going to go wrong. Yeah. Like that feeling you have all throughout Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you feel like the Dan Stevens character for a lot of it, where you're just on edge all the time. You don't know what to expect, and at a point you just want to give up on her. You're like, oh, fuck this. Like, she's a terrible person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably say 4.5 out of 5. Like, I love it. I just think that like last segment doesn't work as well on a second viewing.
So we also, every week with the film recommendations, I go onto the app Letterboxd and find a collection of reviews that I think are either just factually incorrect and misinformed or really funny. I've got 10 today. Took me a while to actually find some that weren't just people either saying this is amazing or Elizabeth Moss is a Scientologist. That seemed to be every single review. So yeah, first up is from Neil Bahadur. Gave it 1.5 stars and said Elizabeth Moss gives a remarkable performance as Danny DeVito's the Penguin.
Not far off, to be fair. They're both about as chaotic as each other.
Yeah. Next is from someone called Katie. Gave it 4 stars, and the review was, Elizabeth Moss, please for the love of God, beat the shit out of me.
Wow. That is intense.
The tag they put was with mum, so I'm not sure how they would have reacted to reading that.
Yeah, true. That's probably a bit weird for your mum to read, but I hope her mum enjoyed the film.
Hopefully. It's not the sort of thing I would watch with my parents, but...
Definitely not.
Next is from Matt Tomalin. Gave it 0.5 star and put, I want to die.
I feel like that's just a general, like, flaw in his character. Not flaw. We all want to die.
Just not even talking about the film, just... Next is from Duncan Burden, who gave it 0.5 star and put, that pussy stank.
That's disgusting, but it probably did. I mean, I can't imagine that character showered very often.
She didn't look like it.
No. Especially not in that sequence in the recording studio.
Yeah, well, she was like in there for weeks.
Yeah, and just in what looked like pyjamas.
J OLED, whose picture is a dog with glasses on, which I appreciate, gave it 1 star and put, Climax 2.0 is as irritating as it gets.
I can kind of see the Climax comparisons, but at the same time, this is much more character-driven than Climax.
Yeah.
Where that is all about the technical aspect of the film, essentially.
Yeah. Someone called Cormac with a crown emoji didn't give it a rating at all, and they put, release the scratch and sniff cut, you cowards.
To be fair, that would be quite an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Maybe
Chris
think about that for the Blu-ray.
Maybe. Yeah, it's still not out on Blu-ray in the UK, is it?
No, I had to buy it on Amazon for like £2 because that's the only place you can actually like either rent it or buy it.
Chris Cabin gave it 5 stars and put, show no mercy to people who don't love this movie.
I agree. Watch Kallum watch it eventually and just hate it.
That'll be the end of the podcast.
Might be.
Or maybe it'll just be revenge for you not loving Life is
true.
Beautiful.
I did shit all over Life is Beautiful, so...
You also didn't like that LA Salami album, so maybe it would be revenge for that also.
Yeah, neither did you, though. Let's not forget that.
But, Calamity Hay gave it 1 star and put, this is clown cinema. Elizabeth Moss acting like a fucking clown. Insane.
Shut up. Just shut up. What a knob. Suspirian
Knight gave it 4.5 stars and put, this movie gives me the nervous poos.
It's kind of grim.
Yeah. And the final one is from Lily Elizabeth the Cowboy, who gave it 5 stars and put, between this and Climax and Good Time, I am fully on board for the new wave of neon panic attack cinema.
Hell yeah.
That's what we like to hear.
Exactly. Neon lights, crazy shit, and an actress just fucking going for it.
There we go. That was The Clash with Safe European Home. And you're listening to Cult to the Touch, the #1 podcast for dead people, as we reach our final link of our punk special.
What was their nickname? Something like the most important band to ever exist.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Or I think it was something like they're the only band that's important or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Shout out Joe Strummer.
Yeah. Cut the Crap's the greatest album ever made.
Oh, shut up.
Kai, you're in charge of all our fan mail. We get loads.
Mm-hmm. I am indeed. This week's a little bit more aggressive. I don't think this guy took very well to the fact that we were doing punk rock. So he starts. You posers, you think you're punk rock? If you're really punk rock, you'd stream on my streaming platform exclusively for anarchists. It's called niche.tv. Also, fuck Spotify. You'd upload the podcast to my streaming app, Popify. Instead, you make content for the man, who can do as he pleases with your intellectual property. Never talk about punk rock again, because you guys are the antithesis of what it means to be punk. It's a lifestyle, not a phase. Fuck you from the bottom of my heart. Julius Andrew Merriman IV. So, that's an angry bloke.
Yeah. Well, at least he didn't threaten any of us personally, which we've had happen before.
Yeah, true. Have you, I remember a few weeks back, a guy threatened to kill you for breaking him and his girlfriend up. Have you noticed any weird goings on, or?
I kept hearing some weird noises, like some weird laughing coming from. It sounded like coming from under my bed, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, that happened for about a week or so, and then it just seemed to vanish. So I don't really know what's gone on there.
That is terrifying. Maybe he's biding his time. He's just trying to mentally psych you out before he kills you.
Yeah. Or maybe he got called by track and trace and has to self-isolate.
Yeah, true. He's responsible. He doesn't want to give you corona.
Yeah. Although if he was hiding under my bed, surely he'd have to let me know.
Yeah, true. True. Very true.
I'm going to keep my mic.
You're going to keep your mic. I think he was trying to say I'm going to keep my mic as close to my mouth as I can so I don't cut out, but he did cut out.
Well, we got the gist. That's what I said.
Okay. Do you want to quick fire, explain the good happiness in your life?
All right. Yeah, I haven't had time to watch the film. Been driving back and forth because our predominantly will be pleased to engage. So I just sift off during the. So
I will translate. Kallum hasn't had time to watch the film because he's been very happy the last couple of weeks now, I guess, because he got engaged.
Round of applause.
Congratulations.
Just me giving him a round of applause.
Yeah, I've got my phone in my hand. I can't clap. But congratulations to our ginger friend, Kallum Norton. I've just doxed you. It's great news. It's great times. I'm very happy for you. Yeah, she's a great girl. You've done well.
The show will probably end the week before the stag do, because I don't think any of us are coming back alive.
Yeah, true.
So,
I'm going out of my way to make it as messy as possible.
Yeah.
That's
thing. What Callum's uncle said to me when I saw him last.
My recommendation?
Your recommendations, yeah?
So, I had a bit of a tough thing. I didn't want it to be horror. I wanted. So basically, film recommendation. I'm recommending anyone else.
Wait, say the film title again because it cut out.
Is that Lee Winnell's Upgrade?
So that's my film recommendation.
You'll have to say it again because it cut out again.
Film. Say it again.
In one word.
Lee Winnell's
Upgrade. Okay.
Yeah, Upgrade. Okay. It's been on my watch list a while, so I'm looking forward to it.
That's got the guy that looks like Tom Hardy, but isn't Tom Hardy in it.
The albums that I buy. I'm going to send it.
Yeah, what was it? Sorry? I think Kallum is attempting to send it to us. I Disagree by Poppy.
What's
the theme of that? What's the theme of that?
It's pretty horrific.
I don't know.
Lyrically.
Pop metal.
Yeah.
Metal Machines, because isn't the guy an upgraded robot?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, you should have picked Metal Machine Music by Lou Reed, so joke's on you.
Yeah, but he picked a good album instead.
Shut up, Chris. Metal Machine Music's great.
It's just 2 hours of noise.
Yeah, you're 2 hours of noise. But yeah,
I'm
looking
interested to
forward
see what
those.
I'm interested to see what Kai thinks of this Poppy album, because knowing Kai, I think he's gonna have very strong opinions on it.
I'm probably not going to like it, let's be real, but I'll go in with an open mind, see what happens.
Yeah, that's all we can ask.
Exactly. But that's it, unfortunately, for another week of Cold to the Touch.
Yeah,
It was our big
we've
return.
had some fun.
We have had some fun. We've rocked out like true punks.
Yeah,
We've played some
rocked the
copyrighted
Casbah.
music. We have rocked the Casbah.
Like that Bill Murray film.
Why? Why have you got to remind me that that film exists?
I'm sure there's
Bill
worse
Murray.
punk-related films I could bring up.
Crash Trows out.
Yeah, of course.